Hey guys, this is Sean. Welcome to my video. This is a Photoshop tutorial on the eraser tool, background eraser tool and magic eraser tool. So let's get started. Now in order to select this tool, just go here and click and you select the eraser tool. You can also use the keyboard shortcut E. For the other two tools, you can click and hold and select the other two tools, or you can toggle by holding Shift and pressing E, like so. Now while using the eraser tool, don't just simply go click and start using it, because what it's going to do is, it's going to paint your background color on your image. In order to make the erased part completely transparent, you need to click here on your layer and you need to unlock it. See, this lock sign is gone from here. Now when you paint, it's going to make a transparent section there. Done. Now obviously there are a couple of options up here. Like all the other tools that use brush, there's size, hardness and the type of brush you can select. The brush preset option gives you a number of other options to use. We're going to study about this in a future video. The modes, which has three modes: brush, pencil and block. The brush option has softer edges, while the pencil option has a very hard stroke and sharp edges, and this block mode is just pointless, as there for anyone who wants to use it. In the block mode, you can't use all of these other options though. So in the brush mode, you can use all the options. The pencil one has a couple of them missing, so I'm going to explain the brush so you'll know all the options anyway. The opacity. If you see, if I click here and drag, it's taking out the entire image where I've dragged it on. But if I drop the opacity to, let's say, 9, and I do the same thing, you see there's very little part of the image that's gone. And keep in mind, I'm rubbing continuously on this part here, but it still stays at this. Now the reason why I'm asking you to keep in mind is because I'm going to explain the flow option next. So bump the opacity to 100 and we'll remove this part. Now the flow option. At 100% flow, with one stroke, I've removed my dog's face out. Almost. While if I drop the flow down to say 11% and I do the same circle, there's barely anything out. But if I keep working on it, it will actually take my dog's face out. That is the difference between the flow and the opacity. Opacity is just making it transparent, while the flow is actually giving you control on the hardness of either the brush that you're using or the eraser that you're using. Let's remove that. Bump that up to 100 and this will give you an airbrush kind of an effect. Now this one is erase to history and I love this option. Watch. As I go and remove some part of the background, I have by mistake removed some part of my dog. Pull the erase to history and you can get all of that back. Done. Let's move on to the next one, that is the background eraser tool. Now these three options, sampling continuous is the first one. In order to demonstrate that option, I'm going to select the brush tool, select a nice color. If you've been watching my videos, you know red is my favorite color. And now watch. As I click and hold, you see it's not really removing the red out. That's because the crosshair is on other sorts of colors and it's not going on the red. But since it's sampling continuously, as I move my crosshair onto the red, it's going to start removing the red out as well. Like so. Now let's say you don't want that. So select this option, which is sampling once. Which once I sample it over here, no matter where I go, the red won't be out. Done. the background swatch option. This option basically will remove any color that resembles your background color. So let me switch this to the background, and if you see, if I keep painting here, it will keep removing the reds from my image. Done. Go back and select this. Now there are 3 limits as well. The first one is the contiguous limit. In order to demonstrate that, let me remove this line and we'll make a pencil stroke because I want a sharp line like this one. And now we go back to the eraser tool and watch. As I click here, it's going to sample colors only which are touching the crosshair directly. So on this side of the red line, nothing is going to be removed. Watch. You see? But if I select another limit here, that is a discontiguous limit, and go back, and if I click the same spot, it's going to sample colors here as well. Everything that's under the brush gets sampled. Watch. See? Now find edges is basically when you're working right at the edge of any kind of selection. This is when you're supposed to use the find edges option. Keep this to contiguous. The tolerance option. See, my tolerance is at 20%, but let's say I bump it up to 100. If I click here somewhere, you see it's removed a part of the face of my dog as well. That's because the tolerance towards hue, saturation and brightness is very high. I'll just put it down to, let's say, 10, and I do the same click, and you see it does a much better job. Watch. You see how the fur is more detailed? That's because I've kept the tolerance really low. Now protect the foreground color. What does this do is now I've kept the red as the foreground color. So if I go on paint, you see it's not going to touch the red. But as soon as I remove this and I paint, it removes the red. Now how this helps is, let's say I want to paint somewhere around this blue. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and select this to be my foreground color. Click this here and paint around it. The color is really intact here. Let's move on to the next option, the magic eraser tool. Before I explain this tool, if you think you've learned something from this video, please hit the like button. Now most of you will tell you that there's nothing very magical about this tool. But I'm not only going to show you the options, but I'm going to show you if you pair this tool up with another tool, it can really give you some stunning effects. So what are these options here? Of course I showed you what is tolerance. But anti-alias option is basically it's going to keep your edges very smooth, so always keep it checked. Contiguous or discontiguous, obviously you guys know that now. Sample all layers if you have multiple layers. I don't have any, I just have one. And opacity I did explain before. In a general sense, what this tool does is it deletes chunks of your image out. So let's bump this down a little bit, and if I click here, see a chunk of your image is out. But if you want it to do a better job, we will have to team it with another tool. So let's say the quick selection tool. So I'm just going to quickly select, make a rough selection here because I want to just demonstrate what this can do. Of course, you all can refine the edges with this option and make a better selection. And hit Ctrl Shift and I, or on the Mac you can hit Command Shift and I to inverse your selection. Go back to this and just bump the tolerance up and just click. It has deleted every little part of the background in just 1 second. That is the power of this tool. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Make sure to hit the like button to show your support. Hit the subscribe button for further videos. Until next time, take care.